Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I want to welcome you to Saturday Serial. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 31. Our friend, our buddy, our pal, Matt Allen, the boss man himself, cannot join us today because of the having internet connection that is even worse than mine. But don't fret, there will be a special announcement video coming up. I want to thank everyone who is joining us today in the chat and in the replay. Please like, share, and subscribe. For those of you who may be new, we are an entertainment news show. We recap the week in entertainment news. We try to keep things light here. We don't like to be too heavy. And we like to keep things fun, keep things light. So I hope you enjoy the show for the next hour or hour and a half or so, depending on how things go and how much the chat likes to chat. All right, we have already joining us in the chat today, Ann Bryant. Good morning, Ann. How's everyone today? Yeah, so far so good. You know me, pulled a muscle on my ear. I'm very ill. No, no, actually, I'm doing pretty well. And as those of you who seen me on some of the other streams, you know that I am now back among the employed. I haven't been working for the last year because I got canceled off my other job. Long story short. But yeah, I'm back. I'm on my feet and I'm working with some really good people. So I'm very happy about that. What I'm not necessarily so happy about is you might not be seeing so much of me on some of the other streams, but I'm going to be here. I'm still going to be here hosting this show either on my own or with Matt. So don't worry. Saturday Serial is not going anywhere. Okay, they're going to need an army to take us off the air. All right. Well, like I said, Matt had a special announcement, and I'm going to wait until we have a few more people in the chat before I play that. And we're going to go on to the news at hand, which is our weekly catch up, brought to us from Greg Dean Smith of Rotten Tomatoes. Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson reunite for Project Artemis, and more movie news. The Bee Gees biopic moves forward. New projects for Michael Fassbender, Catherine Bigelow, Ethan Coen, Uma Thurman, and Samuel L. Jackson, and Bruce Willis retires. All right. This week's top story: Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans reunite for Project Artemis. With dozens of movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be number 28, and a combined cast in the hundreds. We are now at a point when movies regularly star two or more actors who have been in the same Marvel movie. A less common situation is when two of the original members of the Avengers make a film together. Put away another one third of the original Avengers, Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson are reuniting for $100 million plus film called Project Artemis, which Apple has picked up hot off the streamer's Best Picture win for Coda. Yeah, who remembers that Coda won Best Picture? Maybe that's something that we can talk about in the chat. Did anybody see the Oscars, and does anybody even remember who won? Oh, and by the way, how do you feel about the most cheer-worthy moment being an Oscar category when they've left stuntmen and women twisting in the wind all of these years? I think I might speak out a little more on that one a bit later. Project Artemis will be the third feature film directed by actor turned director Jason Bateman after Bad Words and A Family Fang. Bateman has also directed several shows, including 11 episodes of Ozark for Netflix. Although much of Bateman's work as director aside from Ozark has been comedic, it's not yet known if Project Artemis will be a comedy, as the only thing that's known about the film is that it's set against a space race. Whether that's past, present, or future is also unclear. Project Artemis was written by debut screenwriter Rose Gilroy, the daughter of actress Renee Russo, and writer-director Dan Gilroy, who, of course, is responsible for Nightcrawler. Didn't actually know they were married. Hey, you learn something new every day. All right, so we got a science, possibly science fact film having to do with the space race, starring a couple of Avengers. Project Artemis. Okay, this looks good. I'm curious to see where this goes. We're going to have to keep our eye on this one. So, okay, chat. Project Artemis, starring Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, to be written by Rose Gilroy. What do you think? Let me know. We're going to move on here to our next story. Other top headlines: Michael Fassbender is David Fincher's The Killer for Netflix. Netflix continues to recruit top directors like Martin Scorsese, Wes Anderson, and Guillermo del Toro to make movies for them. And one of the most impressive names on their current roster is David Fincher, whose most recent film, the screenwriter biopic Mank, was made for Netflix in 2020. Fincher recently wrapped production on the quietly made thriller The Killer, adapted from a French graphic novel by Alexis Nolent, by screenwriter Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote Fincher's Seven. Michael Fassbender will star as the title character, whose description reads, "A man solitary and cold, methodical and unencumbered by scruples or regrets. The killer waits in the shadows, watching for his next target." Tilda Swinton also co-stars in an unknown role. The actual filming of The Killer is something of a resolution of a dream project for David Fincher, who's been trying to get the film made for almost 14 years. Okay, well, this answers my question. This has nothing to do with the John Woo film of the same name from 1990, I believe now. I can't believe it's been that long. This is adapted from a French graphic novel. I'm not familiar with this. Chat, help me out. Are you aware of the graphic novel? Have you read it, and is it any good? I mean, just the talent behind the film, count me in. Not sure I'm too happy about it being on Netflix. Maybe it'll be day and date. I don't know. It does not say. But this is going to be another one to keep an eye on. This is going to be interesting. Uh, is he is the killer going to redeem himself by the end of the movie, or is he just going to be a cold bastard straight through? Who's to say? Uh, Michael Fassbender can certainly play both, and we have Tilda Swinton in there. Throw her into the mix, and man, you got a weekend. This is going to be an interesting one. Okay, we're going to move on to story number 2. Academy Award winner Catherine Bigelow joins Netflix for Aurora. Speaking of Netflix and famous directors, the streamer's big get this week was Best Director Oscar winner for The Hurt Locker, Catherine Bigelow. Bigelow hasn't directed a feature film since 2017's Detroit, but her new Netflix project is being described as her next film, suggesting it will start production soon. That film will be an adaptation of an upcoming novel called Aurora by prolific screenwriter David Cope, whose filmography includes Jurassic Park, Spider-Man, and the recent HBO Max film Kimmy. Aurora is described as a story in which characters are coping with the collapse of the social order set against a catastrophic worldwide power crisis. That crisis being a solar storm that knocks out most of the Earth's power grids. Kind of sounds like The Trigger Effect, which was a film that David Cope not only wrote but also directed. Okay, maybe he'll put a new twist on it. Despite some thematic similarities, Earth facing a catastrophe from outer space, we can expect that Aurora will probably not be a satire like Netflix's recent Best Picture nominee Don't Look Up, which some people could contend maybe wasn't too good with the satire. But I digress. Good. I'm glad it's not going to be a satire because Hollywood doesn't know how to do satire anymore, or comedy for that matter. Unfortunately. All right. Chat. What do you think? Catherine Bigelow and David Cope giving us Aurora. Collapse of the worldwide power grid. It's probably not going to be a comedy. Alrighty, we are going to move right along here. Ethan Coen going solo with a road trip comedy. Joel and Ethan Coen work so frequently that they're often credited as just the Coen brothers, but they do indeed go solo sometimes. Joel Coen did that recently with The Tragedy of Macbeth, in which Denzel Washington earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Very well deserved. I highly recommend The Tragedy of Macbeth. It's a very good movie. It definitely earned the Oscar nominations it received. It is now Ethan Coen's turn as he will direct a quote a lesbian road trip project that he co-wrote with his wife Trisha Cook in the mid 2000s without the involvement of his brother Joel. The untitled project will be produced by Working Title Films and Focus Features. The Hollywood Reporter describes the project as a Russ Meyer-inspired romp, referencing the director of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. The two lead characters embark on a road trip from Philadelphia to Miami, during which cruising bars ensues, as does the potpourri of a severed head in a hat box, a bitter ex girlfriend, a mystery briefcase, and an evil senator. Cohen expects to start filming this summer, so the two leads should be cast relatively soon. Okay. Uh, Ethan Cohen going into the world of Russ Meyer. Yeah. Uh, all right, count me in. you have my attention, sir. Uh, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. It, it's got my wheels turning, that's for sure. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun one. All right, so chat. Uh, Ethan Cohen going all Russ Meyer on us. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right. I do see that there are some people who are lurking. Uh, if you're joining us late, I am deleted scenes, and I want to rescue you. Yes, I almost said rescue. I do want to rescue you from bad entertainment. Uh, I am deleted scenes, and I am the normally the co-host of this program. Our normal host, my good friend Matt Allen, could not join us due to the fact that he's in an area that has some has even worse internet connection than mine. However, he does have a very special message for us, which I'm going to be playing here a little later on. However, this is a point in the show where I'm going to give a little bit of a commentary. I wasn't originally going to discuss this because there are a number of YouTubers that have already gotten a lot of clicks on their own channels, and that's well and good, and I'm glad. But I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, between the debacle that was the Oscars and the dumpster fire that is Disney, man, it's been a rough week. And don't worry, I'm not gonna. This is not going to take long. I don't want to bring down the stream, but folks, we deserve better. We really do. And Hollywood, in recent times, has shown their true colors. And my message to you out there would be vote with your wallet. Do not give these people money. You worked hard for it. You earned it. Now is the time for Hollywood to listen to us. Disney is a symptom of a much, much bigger problem. Hollywood is rotting from the inside. Will Smith, what happened at the Oscars is just a symptom. We understand now that these people live in a bubble. And They have no idea what's going on in the outside world. They don't. All they know is this little world that they've built around themselves. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. Hell, their actions speak louder than words. I got to tell you, honestly, I'm not going to watch an Oscar telecast again. Why should I? You have hosts that come on and make jokes at our expense. You've got this so-called talent openly disrespecting each other on stage, and now it's finally gotten physical, and I'm afraid about where that might go. So now's the time to stand up and say, we're not going to have that anymore. We're not going to put up with it. We deserve better. You know, we deserve to have good original content. And I'm not just, maybe the superhero thing is played out. Everything does not need to be a sequel or a prequel or a franchise. There's good original there are good original stories out there, and there are original voices, and we don't get a chance to hear them. There are good movies like Old Henry, which is this independent western with Tim Blake Nelson. That's outstanding. There's a television show on Hulu right now called Promised Land that ABC slept on and tried to tap down and tried to cancel. That's outstanding. That I'm advising everybody to watch. It's great, and we need more like it. I don't want to go off on a rant, but the most recent news is that Will Smith has resigned from the Academy. If this is the case, good on him. If he's going to fall on his sword, I think he's doing it for the wrong person. But I'm not going to go into that. We all know the rumors and the stories behind that, and I'm not going to discuss the man's marriage. I'm not there. But if he's going to fall on his sword, then that's a good thing. But he definitely does need to be censored in some way. He did commit an assault. He should have at least been ejected from the building. If Chris Rock chooses not to press charges, I don't know what the state law in California is. If the district attorney's office can move on him on their own, it doesn't appear like that's going to be the case. As far as should he give his Oscar back, you'd have to take away Harvey Weinstein's Oscars first and Roman Polanski's Oscar. Because while Will Smith did what he did in front of millions of people on live international television, what they did was far worse. These people are not heroes, and they shouldn't be looked at as such. Vote with your wallet. If you choose to cancel Disney Plus over over their recent antics or not so recent antics. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I think you absolutely should. If you don't care about the Oscars or would prefer not to watch them again after this year, good. Send that message. It is up to you. You are the ones who are empowered, not them. And I don't mean to go off on a rant. This was not scripted. I didn't plan this, but this is something that I felt needed to be said. And look, I love you guys. This is why I do this show. Those of you who are in the chat, those of you who watch us later, and I know there are people who watch us on delay, you're why I'm here. So I'm going to do the best I can. I give you that promise. I will do the best that I can on this channel and on my own and on other channels. Because I think you deserve it. You deserve not to be talked down to. You deserve not to be lied to. And you deserve good entertainment. It's out there. You got to find it. And I'm going to call attention to it. If I see something good, like I said, like Old Henry, like Promised Land, I'm going to let you know. So, okay, end of rant. We have someone joining us in the chat. We have friend of the channel, Joker Voice. Good morning to you, sir. I'm glad to see you. How are you this morning, Joker Voice? Alrighty, as I said earlier, I guess it's about as good a time in the show as any, since we're by or near the halfway mark. The boss man, Matt Allen, released a video last night that he wanted me to play for all the fans out there. Okay, Joker Voice. Just dropped my latest video. This could lead to a one-on-one chat with the head coach of an American sports team. Wow. Outstanding, man. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, all right, I'm going to have to check that one out. Okay, so chat. Yeah, Joker Voice has a new video. Please go to his channel and check that out. All right, like I said, we had a message from the boss man, Matt Allen himself, and I'm going to play that for you at this time.
Hey guys!
Hi everybody!
Hi everybody from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep, and hi from Matt and Julie, who are getting married.
We're getting married!
Yay! So this little video is to help with our wedding GoFundMe.
Because it's our future fund.
Yeah, future fund. Because we don't want any gifts or anything like that for our wedding. Instead, we are looking for donations to our future fund, and the future fund will be paying for some things that are very specific. mainly green card application fees and medical examination fees for myself.
They're very costly.
Very
as we
costly.
found out.
Yeah, we've been doing our research and it's going to cost thousands to do this. So we need help.
Okay, Joker voice. Can you see the video? Was the video playing just now? No, I'm guessing. Hold on. All I see is your icon. Okay. All right. Maybe what I need to do is drop myself out. Live television, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So I'm going to drop.
Hey guys.
Hi everybody.
Hi everybody from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep, and hi from Matt and Julie, who are getting married.
We're getting married.
Yay! So this little video is to help with our wedding GoFundMe. Because
it's our future fund.
Yeah, future fund. Because we don't want any gifts or anything like that for our wedding. Instead, we are looking for donations to our future fund. And the future fund will be paying for some things that are very specific. Mainly green card application fees and medical examination fees for myself.
They're very costly.
Very
as we
costly.
found out.
Yeah, we've been doing our research and it's going to cost thousands to do this. So we need help.
We don't want to get ripped apart from each other. We love each other very much, and able to make sure that Matt can stay here in the United States and we can stay together and not get torn apart from each other. We have to start the process of the green card to get him to stay here.
Yeah.
And so I know some of our family and friends, they want to give us nice gifts and things like that for the wedding, which is great. And we totally appreciate that. But the money would be much more appreciated towards those types of costs so he can stay here and we can not get ripped apart and be together.
Yeah.
So any donation at all would be greatly appreciated, whether it be $5, $10, it doesn't matter. Anything will go towards this, and so we can actually have a future together, because without that we're going to get ripped apart and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and we've got plans, we've got big plans for our future together. There's lots of things that we've got, like, that we want to do and stuff like that, but we won't be able to do any of it if we get torn apart. And we both know that without help, then we're not going to be able to do this. So we are really going to be extremely grateful for anybody who is willing to help us here. So there will be a link to this GoFundMe, and if you can follow that link and even share it around, that would be absolutely brilliant. So yes, we love you all.
We love you.
Yeah, thanks in advance, and wish us luck. Bye.
Bye.
That was the special announcement from Matt and Julie. I'm probably going to be playing that video a time or two before the end of this show. Joker voice, with your permission, can I drop a link to my channel? Yes, you may. Please, by all means, do. If it doesn't come up, just DM me the link and I'll put it up. Because every time I try to search for your channel, I can never find it. So please help me out on that. I see is your icon. Yeah, I boomered that one. And with yes, Joker voice, there's a video now. Yes. Yes, they are. They make a great couple. They really do. And I know they're off. They're busy planning their future. Matt, unfortunately, like I said earlier in the show, couldn't be with us directly, but yeah, that was his special message. And if anybody missed it, I'm going to be playing it later on. All right. Well, we are going to get back to the show. The weekly catch up from Mr. Greg Dean Smits. And for those of you who are joining us late, director Joel Cohen is doing a solo project that is being described as being very much in the vein of Russ Meyer. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. All right, we have in the chat friend of the channel, Carl. Good morning, Carl. It is always good to see you in the chats. I hope that you didn't miss the video from Matt. If you did, don't worry. I'm going to be playing it at least one more time before the end of the show. Maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Why? Because it's all a part of my top secret plan to take over YouTube, one channel at a time. All right, and we have Joker Voice with Hail Carl Whitaker and Bryant, and of course, Hail Bud Boy Productions. Yes, indeed. Please do not forget to give us a like, share out the link, and if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you are subscribed and you haven't been getting the notifications, please make sure to check and see if you've hit the bell icon, because that has the tendency to get shut off from time to time. Believe me, I know that. We're going to move on to our next story. Overshot you. We have the Bee Gees. Sing Street director takes on Bee Gees biopic. All right, sounds interesting. Let's go. Let's see. Irish director John Carney has established a signature style of intimate, semi musical dramas about characters who are obsessed with music, in 3 films in particular: Once, Begin Again, and Sing Street. Those 3 films may have set Carney up to be an ideal choice for Paramount Pictures, as the studio's musical biopic about the 70s pop sensation the Bee Gees recently lost both its director, Kenneth Branagh, due to scheduling conflicts with Belfast, and screenwriter. Along with Carney as director, the Bee Gees biopic also has a new screenwriter in John Logan, whose filmography includes Martin Scorsese's Hugo and Ridley Scott's Gladiator. Barry Gibb, the last surviving member of the Brothers Gibb, will serve as the musical biopic's executive producer. The Bee Gees biopic is just one of almost a dozen such projects that are either nearing release, such as Elvis, soon to be released June 24th. And I Want to Dance with Somebody, which is going to come out around Christmas, or preparing production. All right, it looks like the year of the musical, and also the year of the musical biopic. Added to biopics about Elvis and Whitney Houston, we now add the Bee Gees to the group, and they have a director at the helm who is certainly capable of mixing the dramatic with the musical. So yeah, this could be I'm keeping an eye on this one. So do I have any Bee Gees fans out in the audience? Who would you like to see star in the movie? We got all three of the Gibbs brothers yet to be cast. So, chat, who would you like to see star in a Bee Gees biopic? There are no wrong answers. I say have Kate Blanchett play all three of them. Hey, if she can play Bob Dylan, I'm kidding. So okay, the Bee Gees biopic coming to the screen. I'm guessing probably sometime late next year. All right, we're going to move on to our next story. West Side Story star Rachel Ziegler to star in animated Spellbound. Actress and singer Rachel Ziegler is only 20 years old, but in a short time, she has landed a series of impressive roles, including the lead role of Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, an unknown role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, set to be released December 16th, and a title role in Disney's live-action remake of their very first animated feature, Snow White. Following a week in which Ziegler made the news for the question about whether or not she'd be attending the Academy Awards, as she eventually did as a presenter, beginning to think she would rather not have rallied so hard for that, judging by how that show turned out. But I've already talked about that, and we're not going to go back to it. So Ziegler has landed another big project, and she will voice the lead role of Princess Alien in the animated musical for Apple and Skydance Animation called Spellbound. The second such collaboration between the two companies after the upcoming Luck, which is set to be released later on this year. Ziegler's character will have to go on a, quote, daring quest to save her family and kingdom after a mysterious spell transforms her parents into monsters and threatens to cover Lumbria in darkness forever. Spellbound is being directed by Vicky Jensen, the co-director of Shrek, working from a screenplay co-written by Linda Wolverton, and with music by 8-time Academy Award winner Alan Menken. All right. Well, at least we know the animation and the music is going to be good. Let's hope the story is good. Princess on a Quest. We've been there many times before, but who knows? Maybe they can bring a new twist to an old story. Okay. So we have animal. Sorry. Yeah, I know, another fella. Excuse me while I get some caffeine into myself. Okay, we have Apple and Skydance Animation teaming up. So, do you think that's a good mix, or do you think that Apple will eventually take over everything? Who knows? All right, we're going to move on. Eddie Murphy returning to the 70s as funk master George Clinton. Eddie Murphy had something of a non Shrek comeback in 2019 with the Rudy Ray Moore biopic Dolomite is My Name, which received several awards or nominations. 3 years later, Murphy is now in early negotiations for another biopic, just as steeped in 70s pop culture as Dolomite. If the deal works out, Murphy will star in a film about musician George Clinton, the leader of the 1970s funk innovators Parliament Funkadelic. Producer John Davis, who also worked with Eddie Murphy on Dolomite is My Name, is currently, quote, tying down rights with the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And then the focus will shift towards recruiting writers and later a director. Eddie Murphy is also producing and has a 3-picture deal with Amazon because of the success of Coming to America. It is not yet clear whether or not this George Clinton biopic will be made specifically for Amazon. Though you got to think it probably will be. As the article states, Eddie Murphy does have a 3-picture deal with Amazon, the first being Coming to America. This could potentially be the second. It could also be Day and Date. All right, so another musical biopic. This time Eddie Murphy is George Clinton. From the producers of Coming to America. Okay, chat. What do you think? Does this sound interesting to you? Have you seen Dolomite is My Name? Did you see Coming to America? What did you think? Let me know in the comments. All right, Joker Voice. If you are still in the chat, go ahead and drop your go ahead and drop the link to your channel in the chat. If it doesn't work, which I understand sometimes it doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and drop my my Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and drop my my Twitter link in the chat, and you can drop it there, and I'll put it in our chat here. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. All right. Okay. I noticed there are some people lurking in the chat. To those of us joining us late, I want to welcome you to the show. I hope you're enjoying it. And we don't worry, never fear, we are not done yet. We are going to be moving on to our next story. Pulp Fiction stars reuniting in the Kill Room. At the Academy Awards Sunday night, Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, who, by the way, in case, once again, everyone forgot, did win an Oscar, uh, Lifetime Achievement Award. And John Travolta reunited on stage with a suitcase for a Pulp Fiction reunion and a little bit of dancing. As it turns out, which they probably already knew, but just hadn't announced yet, Jackson and Thurman will soon be working together again in a comedic thriller called The Kill Room. Jackson will star as a hitman's boss who gets involved with a fancy art dealer, who will be played by Uma Thurman, in a money laundering scheme that accidentally turns the assassin into an overnight avant garde sensation, one that forces her to play the art world against the underworld. The third lead role of the hitman has not yet been cast. The Kill Room will be directed by Nicole Paoni. Please excuse me if I mispronounced your name. The director of Friendsgiving, working from a screenplay by TV documentary producer Jonathan Jacobson. All right, so we have two Pulp Fiction stars going back into the criminal underworld with an art twist. Could be fun. Could be fun. If it's a well written script, I think they can knock it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a mini Pulp Fiction reunion. Do we have any Pulp Fiction fans in the chat? Any Samuel L. Jackson fans? Do you want to talk about Uma Thurman for a little while? Because I'm certainly down for that. Okay, I digress. All right. Going to move on to our next story. Sharon Stone joins DC superhero movie Blue Beetle as the villain. Okay. Comic books and movies may share some surface similarities. Storyboards or movies often look like comics, but the pacing and the time comics have to tell their stories means that movie adaptations are often quite different from their source material. That can even extend to new characters just made for the movies. Shield agent Phil Coulson was created for the MCU, for example. The movie adaptation of the DC Comics superhero Blue Beetle, the writers apparently did something similar because Sharon Stone has been cast in Blue Beetle as the film's villain in a role that is a new creation. Having said that, the character's name is Victoria Cord, which hints at a connection to the second Blue Beetle in the comics, Ted Cord. This Blue Beetle movie, however, isn't about Ted Cord, and will instead tell the story of the third Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, who will be played by Cobra Kai star Zolo Maraduena. And once again, please excuse me if I mispronounced the name. Mayans MC actor Raul Max Trujillo, who was also cast in Blue Beetle this week, is the villain Carapax the Indestructible Man. The Blue Beetle is being directed by Angel Manuel Soto, and Warner Brothers has scheduled the film for a theatrical release next summer, August 18th, 2023. All right, so the cast is shaping up. I'm going to be curious how they're planning to dispatch the villain in this case, because they tend not to. All right, I'm just going to say it. They tend not to let men and women get into fisticuffs. So, all right, it's interesting casting. I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle. I hope it's a good movie. I'm not really familiar with the comics. When they start adding in characters that don't exist within that world, I tend to get a little disappointed by that, you know. But like I said, this Victoria Cord character could be a good addition. Sharon Stone, great actress. Yeah, could be good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, we have Aged Boomer in the house. Good morning to Aged Boomer. We also have in the chat Ann Bryant. We also have Carl Whitaker. We also have Joker Voice joining us. I want to thank everybody who joined us today. It's always good to see you. And also joining the chat, Bone. Good morning, Bone. In case you missed a previous story, Sharon Stone has been added to the cast of the Blue Beetle film, playing a new villain, Victoria Cord, who's not from the comics. She's an invention of this film. Aged Boomer, wasn't Sharon Stone also in that Catwoman movie years back? Yes, she was. The film with Halle Berry, yeah, which has been much maligned through the years. I never saw it myself. Heard it wasn't all that good. Okay. Like I said, you know, I am not the authority when it comes to Blue Beetle. So I'm going into this movie blind. Hopefully it'll be good. It's got a decent cast. Is a director certainly capable of pulling it off? Okay, we're going to move on. And of course, as many of you probably already know, we got a very sad health update on the actor Bruce Willis, and he is now, because of his medical issues, retiring from acting after 40 years. Let's move on to the story. Although he's drawn criticism in recent years for his prolific slate of direct-to-video projects, Bruce Willis remains a legitimate A-list movie star whose credits include Die Hard and its sequels. It was a good one. You got your coffee. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. And speaking of which, let me take another sip. Oh, feel free to hydrate yourselves, folks. Smoke them if you got them. All right. All right. Bruce Willis remains a legitimate A-list movie star whose credits include Die Hard and its sequels, Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, and M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense, among many others. Hollywood insiders and fans alike were saddened by the revelation this week that Willis is suffering from a communication disorder called aphasia, which makes remembering words and language difficult and or impossible. Bruce Willis's family made an announcement on his behalf that he is now retiring from acting as he considers as he continues to struggle with the symptoms of aphasia, which is impacting his cognitive abilities. The messages of sympathy for Willis have come pouring in from everyone, including his Pulp Fiction co-star John Travolta, his Sixth Sense co-star Haley Joel Osment, and even some of the directors of those recent direct-to-video projects. Meanwhile, the Razzie Awards, which made a special category called Worst Performance by Bruce Willis, rescinded the Razzie in a statement this week. The weekly catch-up normally covers the movies that will likely be made soon, but this week we close on a different note. We won't be getting any more John McClane movies, and directors like Tarantino and M. Night Shyamalan won't be able to reunite with Bruce Willis on any future projects. We wish Bruce Willis and his family the best. Well, hopefully that won't be the case. That he'll be able to recover from this to some extent. Aged Boomer. How long before Disney announces a Die Hard reboot? Hopefully not. But it is Disney. And Disney is stupid. I'm not aware of any upcoming Die Hard reboot. It has been rumored through the years that there might be one, possibly a female-led reboot. Needless to say, I would be against it. Aged Boomer in the chat says, I wish Bruce Willis the best. So do I. I think we all do. There have been a lot of jokes at his expense. There have been a lot of things said about him that can now be explained through the fact that he essentially has early onset dementia. And that he has a cognitive disability. And that's going to affect performance. That's going to affect memory, speech. And I've said this on other scenes, and Aged Boomer is aware of this. There's been a change in Bruce Willis, a physical change in him that I've noticed since Tears of the Sun. And I understand he was injured while filming that movie. He even sued the studio over it. He's partially deaf because of a weapons misfire that happened while filming the first Die Hard. The man has taken his share of lumps. And that could all very possibly have brought this condition on in him. I mean, I'm not the expert on aphasia, but I do know that it's brought on by either stroke or brain damage. So I'm not a doctor. Um, I can only guess. I don't want to speculate really any further. But my hope is, I'm sure you would all agree with me that that he will be able to recover at least to some extent. That we haven't seen the last of Bruce Willis, because I do believe he's got you know enough left in the tank. I'm not counting him out. This is John McClane we're talking about. you know, you know, I'm rooting for him to make a comeback. So okay, that appears to be it for the entertainment news for this week. Uh, we have a Bee Gees biopic. We also have a biopic of George Clinton that's going to star Eddie Murphy. Ethan Cohen going into the world of Russ Meyer for his solo effort. Catherine Bigelow is returning to directing. Michael Fassbender will be starring in the next David Fincher film. And Bruce Willis has retired from acting due to ill health. And we also have two of the Avengers reteaming for a big budget science fiction film. Aged Boomer says maybe he'll return one day. Yeah, like I said, I certainly hope that he does. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. He might not be able to do anything on the level of Die Hard or Fifth Element again, but there are other kinds of movies. And if you want to see a great Bruce Willis performance in a movie that a lot of people slept on at the time, there's a movie called In Country that I don't think a lot of people have seen. It was early 90s, I think, or he played a Vietnam vet, and very interesting movie. Uh, kind of a supporting, maybe kind of co-lead role in that movie, because it was the idea is he's raising his niece because his brother was killed during the war, so he now has custody of his niece, who is played by Emily Lloyd, who is a British actress who was in a lot of movies at the time. And I thought he should have been Oscar nominated for that movie. He's outstanding in it. So I'm thinking, perhaps he could come back and do character work, because I always thought he had that in him. Bone says he hasn't seen it. Look it up. In Country, starring Bruce Willis and Emily Lloyd. It's a good movie. It's quiet. It's a character drama, but it's very well done. All right, I'm going to go back to full screen. Alrighty, well, that was the weekly catch up brought to us from Mr. Greg Dean Smits of Rotten Tomatoes. Thank you once again for saving our broadcast. Now, in case some of you might have missed it earlier, we got a message from the boss, Matt Allen, and he has a special announcement video that I played earlier in the broadcast. And before we head out, I'm going to play that video once again. And what I would like you to do is this Matt put this video out on the channel last night. Now, I would really appreciate it if everybody shared it out, because it's very important and it comes from the heart. Carl Whitaker says, I've got my Stormtrooper coffee now. Outstanding. Great. Aged Boomer says, have a good weekend. Stick around. The show's not quite done yet. We've got one more special message to go. And it's from the boss man. Hold on. I boomered it again, kids. Give me a minute.
Hey guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hold on.
From
Dang
St.
it.
Louis, Missouri.
Live television, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. Okay. Going to share screen.
Yep, and hi from Matt and Julie, who are getting married.
We're getting married.
Yay! So this little video is to help with our wedding GoFundMe. Because
It's our future fund.
Yeah, future fund, because we don't want any gifts or anything like that for our wedding. Instead, we are looking for donations to our future fund, and the future fund will be paying for some things that are very specific, mainly a green card, application fees, and medical examination fees for
That
myself.
are very costly.
Very
as we
costly.
found out.
Yeah, we've been doing our research, and it's going to cost thousands to do this. So we need help.
We don't want to get ripped apart from each other. We love each other very much, and able to make sure that Matt can stay here in the United States and we can stay together and not get torn apart from each other. We have to start the process of the green card to get him to stay here.
Yeah.
And so I know some of our family and friends have been asking, well, they want to give us nice gifts and things like that for the wedding, which is great. And we totally appreciate that. But the money would be much more appreciated towards those types of costs, so he can stay here and we can not get ripped apart and be together.
Yeah.
So any donation at all would be greatly appreciated, whether it be $5, $10, it doesn't matter. Anything will go towards this, and so we can actually have a future together, because without that, we're going to get ripped apart, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and we've got plans. We've got big plans for our future together. There's lots of things that we've got, like, that we want to do and stuff like that, but we won't be able to do any of it if we get torn apart. And we both know that without help, then we're not going to be able to do this. So we are really going to be extremely grateful for anybody who is willing to help us here. So there will be a link to this GoFundMe. And if you can follow that link and even share it around, that would be absolutely brilliant. So yes, we love you all.
We love you.
Yeah, thanks in advance, and wish us luck. Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a message from Matt and Julie. Give me a second as I put the GoFundMe page up in the chat. Aged Boomer, yes, thank you for sticking around. Joker Voice, I'm off to run errands. I've got a lunch date and a WrestleMania party to do today. Yes, WrestleMania tonight. Yes. Joker Voice does have his own channel. So please go over there and show him some love. Like, share, and subscribe. Lovely Sherry has joined us. Good morning, Sherry. Glad to see you. We're about to wrap the show up here pretty shortly. Aged Boomer, congratulations to Matt and Julie. Yes. Absolutely. They deserve all the good that comes to them. And please give me a moment. I want to talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I want to make sure I share the link out in the chat. And for anybody who has ever paid attention to me in any of the chats, you know that I'm a pretty shit typist. So, and I'm also like half blind to boot. So bear with me. All right, got it. That is the so go to GoFundMe and hit the link. Every cent counts, and we wish the best for Julie and Matt as they move on to this next phase of their lives. And before I tear up, I am going to end the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who stuck with us through the entire show, or those who are joining us late. We have the lovely Sherry, we have Aged Boomer, we have Bone, we have Joker Voice, Carl Whitaker, Ann Bryant. I'm glad everybody could join us here today. Remember that we have our friend Brandon, the anime guy. He will be starting his show at the top of the hour, so please go over to his channel. Pulp Culture Minefield is going to have their Saturday morning show. That's going to be at around 1 o'clock, I believe. As those of you who are fans of Rambling Canuck, you will know that his Saturday night karaoke show is being postponed this week because they're going to be covering WrestleMania. However, Jedi Bill 797 will be carrying on the tradition, and he will have karaoke night on his channel. And I believe that's going to be starting around the usual time. It's going to be either 9 or 10 o'clock. Stay tuned. And also, speaking of Jedi Bill, he will be continuing his Sunday Western Cinema series. And this week he is going to have the original 310 to Yuma, starring Glenn Ford and Van Heflin. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to work. So no, wait a minute. I got tomorrow off. So I will be joining him tomorrow, if all goes well. Yes. Lovely Sherry is saying the link doesn't work. Okay, it's possible I might have mistyped it. But yeah, like I said, that video is up, and I am going to be reposting it on Twitter. So you can also go to you can go straight to the GoFundMe page, and it should work from there. Yeah, just stick to just check me out, because I know a number of you in the chat follow me on Twitter. I'm going to be I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repost a video on Twitter, along with the link, and hopefully it'll work properly there. Okay. Well, that's it. That's going to be the end of the show for this week. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out to listen to me prattle on about this week's news. You guys have been awesome, and I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here every week. Hopefully, we will get to see Matt on the show once again. As you know, obviously, he is quite busy, and he's in an area where as I said, the internet reception is less than great, which is why he couldn't join us this morning. But all right. Without any further ado, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.